afternoon, everybody, and Happy New Year. This is Chick Hearn with Mel Allen.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Speaking to you from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California for the Gillette Safety Razor Company. And we're all set to bring you the 1958 Rose Bowl game between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the University of Oregon Ducks. The Gillette Cavalcade of Sports telecasts the major sports events all around the year. Classics like today's Rose Bowl game, the Kentucky Derby, All-Star Baseball game, World Series, Blue and Gray football game, and the feature boxing match of the week every Friday night. This is our thank you to the men and the women who buy Gillette products. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in perfect football weather, 75 degrees here in sunny Southern California, Pasadena, California, we're all set for the 44th annual Tournament of Roses football game. Woody Hayes has brought the pride of the Big Ten, or the Western Conference, Ohio State, here to Pasadena to battle Len Casanova's Oregon Ducks. The weather, perfect. A crowd, 100,000 strong. The record here is 100,963, established in 1950. And today, the most that they could handle, they tell us, is 100,808. We are located high above the western rim of the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena. You're looking down and around a stadium that runs, so far as the football field is concerned, in the north and south direction. That is the University of Oregon Marching Band. The University of Oregon coming here, and proud they are, for their third appearance in the Rose Bowl. They have an enrollment of 7,000 students located at Eugene, Oregon, which is located at the head of beautiful Willamette Valley, 124 miles south of Portland. The Oregon team is called the Ducks, or the Webfoots. They're coached by Len Casanova. Len has just completed 7 years of coaching. He was picked to finish this year 7th or 8th in the Pacific Coast Conference, but as you well know, he came up with a tremendous season and tied with Oregon State for the Pacific Coast Conference title. Oregon students have deep appreciation for Coach Len Casanova. In 1954, they presented him with a plaque which read, and I quote, "Having given us victory by reestablishing an undying Oregon spirit, you have won the respect and admiration of your team and the entire Oregon family." Overall this year, the University of Oregon Ducks had a record of 7 wins and 3 defeats. Defeated by Pittsburgh 6-3 on a pass play in the last 20 seconds. They lost to Washington 13-6, and Oregon State edged them in the season finale 10-7 to earn the Pacific Coast Conference tie. In victories, Oregon defeated Idaho 9-6, beat UCLA 21-0, shut out San Jose State 26-0, edged Washington State 14-13, beat California 24-6, edged Stanford 27-26, and defeated Southern California 16-7. In the 10 ball games this year for the University of Oregon, they averaged 15 points per game offensively. They allowed the opponent just 8.5 points per game. Now the Ohio State Buckeyes, and proud they are, from Columbus, Ohio. This great institution was opened in 1873 with just 17 students. Today, the Buckeye School boasts an enrollment of 22,400 students. And Coach Woody Hayes, like Casanova, has completed his 7th year at Columbus. In those 7 years, Woody's teams have won 47, lost 15, and tied 2. Now, Woody Hayes' record in the Big Ten has been fantastic. His Buckeyes have won the undisputed Big Ten championships in 3 of the last 4 years. In fact, Ohio State has won, get this, ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State has won 24 of its last 26 conference games. Included in this was a string of 17 straight conference wins, and that's an all-time Big Ten record. Now, Woody Hayes' 1954 team was acclaimed national champions, and the team that you'll see here today was rated as the top collegiate team in the country by 2 of the national press associations. On the field now, you see the University of Ohio State Marching Band joining forces with the University of Oregon Marching Band. And ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the field for the playing of our national anthem.
Fans of the University of Oregon and Ohio State University, under the direction of Ira D. Lee, will now play our national anthem.
On the field, you see the combined bands of Ohio State University and the University of Oregon. Let's get back and talk a little bit more about the Western Conference champion Ohio State Buckeyes. This year, their record was 8-1 in the opening game of the year, defeated by TCU 18-14. But after that, it was a clean sweep on the season. Ohio State 35, Washington 7, Ohio State 21, Illinois 7, Ohio State 56, Indiana nothing, Ohio State 16, Wisconsin 13, Ohio State 47, Northwestern 6, Ohio State 20, Purdue 7, Ohio State in the big game of the year 17, Iowa 13, and Ohio State 31, Michigan 14. Offensively, Ohio State a potent force. They averaged 28 points a game this year. And also this year, the opponents of Ohio State were held to less than 10 points per game. In 1921, Ohio State was here to the Rose Bowl, losing to California 28-0. In 1950, they beat California 17-14. In 1955, they beat SC 20-7. And who knows what will happen here on this first day of January 1958. Here are your starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. For Ohio State, left end, number 84, Jim Houston, 6'2", 216-pound sophomore from Massillon, Ohio. At left tackle, number 71, Dick Shafrath, 6'2", 208-pound, 20-year-old junior from Wooster, Ohio. At left guard, number 65, Bill Jobko, 6'1", 215, a 22-year-old senior from Lansing, Ohio. These are the Oregon Ducks. They're wearing white jerseys, yellow golden headgear, yellow golden trousers, and green stockings. At center for Ohio State, number 58, Dan Frank, 5'11", 189, a 21-year-old junior from Dover, Ohio. At right guard, number 64, All-American Aurelius Thomas, 6'1", 204, 22-year-old senior from Columbus. At right tackle, number 76, Jim Marshall, 6'3", 215, a 19-year-old sophomore from Columbus. And at right end, number 85, Leo Brown, 5'10", 165, a 23-year-old senior from Portsmouth, Ohio. At quarterback, it'll be number 22, Frank Kremlis, 6'1", 193, a 20-year-old junior from Akron, Ohio. At left halfback, Dick LeBeau, number 44, 6 foot, 181, a 20-year-old junior from London, Ohio. At right halfback, number 16, Joe Canavino, 5'11", 172, a 23-year-old senior from Cleveland. And at fullback, number 36, Galen Cisco, 5'11", 203, 21-year-old senior from St. Mary's, Ohio. For the University of Oregon Ducks, at whom you are looking now, at left end, number 80, J.C. Wheeler, 6'2", 193-pound senior from Oregon City. At left tackle, number 72, Jerry Kirshner, 6'4", 218, a 21-year-old senior from Tacoma, Washington. At left guard, number 65, Harry Mundell, 5'6", 198, a 26-year-old senior from Eugene. At center, number 52, Bob Peterson, 6 feet, 194, a 20-year-old sophomore from Coos Bay. At right guard, number 62, Bob Gratkow, 6'4", 202, a 20-year-old junior from Oakland, California. At right tackle for the Oregon Ducks, number 71, Jim Linden, 6'4", 221, a 20-year-old junior from Everett, Washington. And at right end, number 83, Ron Stover. He is 6'3", 197, a 20-year-old junior from Vallejo, California. In the backfield for Oregon will be number 17, a quarterback, Jack Crabtree from Lakewood, California. At left halfback, number 25, Charlie Tourville from Martinez, California. At right halfback, number 30, Jim Shanley from North Bend, Oregon. And at the fullback position, number 40, Jack Morris from Medford, Oregon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the lineup squared away, it's my good fortune and pleasure to be in the same broadcasting booth and to turn the microphone over now to a fellow whose voice has become synonymous with this great Rose Bowl classic from Pasadena, California, Mel Allen.
Hello there, everybody. In a few minutes now, the referee's whistle will sound and the Rose Bowl game will get underway.
For me?
For you.
Thanks. Hot.
Beastly.
I'm grateful, and you are so brave. But that beard I still can't take, Bet.
She means a decent shave, old man. So make with the Gillette.
Look sharp, feel sharp, stay sharp.
What a razor.
Gillette Super Speed.
In every season, it's a friend indeed.
Light, regular.
Have it. Oh, only way to get a decent shave.
Discover how easy it is for you to get refreshing, comfortable shaves. Make a safari to a nearby store and pick up a Gillette Super Speed Razor that fits your skin and beard exactly. Light has the precise edge, exposure, angle, and weight for lighter beards, regular for average beards, heavy for dense beards. Change blades so. $1 for Gillette Super Speed Razor, Gillette Blue Blade Dispenser, and travel case.
And now we take you down to the center of the field for the referee, Tony Scober, the toss of the coin and the introduction of the captains.
Hello, captains.
Oh, Captain Brown, Tony Scober.
Hello, Captain Brown. Hello, Captain Cisco. I want you to...
Shanley, Scober, Morris.
How are you, Captain
Mandel.
How are you, Mr. Mandel?
Mr. Chapman, who will do the calling of the toss.
All right, Mr. Chapman, I understand that Ohio State is a visiting team, and they will call the toss in the air. Before I do that, I would like to have you meet the other officials of the game. At my left here is Ledbetter, head linesman. And next in line is back judge Fitzpatrick, and field judge Farrell, and umpire Fisher. I understand you will do the calling in the air. Brown, will you call the toss? Heads is called, and it is heads. You have won the toss. Receive, Ohio State, and you will defend that goal, and you'll be kicking this way. Okay, gentlemen, just one thing I want to mention, that only the acting captain on the field will call timeout of the nearest official. And then after 5 timeouts, it'll be the captain of the referee, which would be with the white cap. Are there any questions? Okay, boys, let's have a nice, clean ball game. Shake hands.
And so we're set to go with the 44th Rose Bowl game. Oregon will kick off, and along the line you'll find Ron Stover, Jim Shanley, Jerry Kirshner, Harry Mundell, Bob Peterson, Jack Morris, who will kick off, Jack Crabtree, Bob Gutkow, Jim Linden, Charlie Turville, and J.C. Wheeler. You see the Ohio State team in its sideline huddle with Woody Hayes, Len Casanova coaching Oregon, and Ohio State in its receiving deployment will have up front Dick Shafrath, Bill Jobco, Dan Pronk, Aurelius Thomas, Jim Marshall. Behind them, the 2 ends, Jim Houston and Leo Brown. Bob White at fullback. We'll double check, see if he's going to start. He is. With Joe Canavino, Frank Kremplis, and Don LeBeau, the deep man. Dick LeBeau, the Oregon team, getting ready to kick off to Ohio State. Jack Morris will boot it. The deep men for Ohio State on the near side is number 16, Joe Canavino. In the middle is Frank Kremplis, 22. To the far side is Dick LeBeau, number 44. And you see Jack Morris, one of the co-captains for the University of Oregon from Eugene, who will boot it off to Ohio State. A beautiful day in sunny Pasadena. Here we go. It's going down to the 3-yard line, taken by Dick LeBeau. He's to the 15, up to the 20, and down at about the 22 by Bob Peterson, the center for Oregon. Co-captain Norm Chapman, the regular center, was hurt earlier in the year. And so it is Ohio State's ball, 1st and 10 on its own 21. And we'll watch Woody Hayes split tee attack. Operating from either a balanced or an unbalanced line. The left end splits out. That's Jim Houston. Bob White, the fullback, cracking across the 25, about the 26 or 7. With Jim Houston, number 84, the end, leading him. And Bob Peterson, the left linebacker, number 52, making the stop. The ball's on the 27-yard line, a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 for Ohio State. That play was run against a 6-man line. And this time, Bob White again on the drive or belly series, taking the ball after a fake to the right halfback, Joe Cannavino, stopped by Jim Linden, number 71, the right tackle, Harry Mundell, number 65, and Jerry Kirshner, number 72, the left tackle. Moving the ball to the 29-yard line, a gain of 2. It's 3rd and 2 for Ohio State. Frank Kremlis, junior quarterback, number 22, directing the team. And against a tight defense, once again, the fullback, Bob White, the sophomore who sensationally performed against Iowa, moved across the 30 to about the 31, stopped by Harry Mundell and Jim Linden for the University of Oregon, and it's a first down for Ohio State. 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes. Bob White carrying that ball, and the hole was open for him by Dan Franck, number 58, the center, and Bill Jobko, 65, the left guard. Opening moments of the 44th Rose Bowl game. 1st and 10 for Ohio State on its own 31. The left halfback on the ride series, Dick LeBeau, vaulting forward to about the 34-yard line, with Ron Stover, the left end for Oregon, number 83, making the tackle, and one of the web foots is shaken up on the play, and a timeout is being taken. And now there's timeout for Oregon. The score, Oregon nothing, Ohio nothing.
This is a hypodermic needle. I'm Art Linkletter, and you're going to see an amazing demonstration. Ever have a pen just stop writing? Well, the chances are you weren't out of ink. The ink had simply clogged. But now, Papermate has discovered an exclusive new ink formula with amazing Flogen that prevents ink clogging. Watch. This pen with ordinary ink has stopped writing. Now we'll inject just a little of Papermate's Flogen into the refill, the same Flogen that's already in every new Papermate pen. And look, the ordinary pen writes again, because Papermate's Flogen ends ink clogging. And it writes every time on hard-to-write surfaces, like checks, photos, even glass.
Get a Papermate pen with amazing Flogen. Now, all Papermate pens and refills have amazing Flogen. Harry Mundell, the squat left guard for the University of Oregon. He weighs 198, stands only 5'6". A co-captain for the University of Oregon was hurt. Shaken up a bit on the last play. The ball's on the 36-yard line. 2nd and 5 for Ohio State. Joe Schaffel, number 64, is in at left guard for Oregon. Plays the middle guard spot. Russ Bowermaster's in at end and splits out to the right. But there is Bob White, the fullback again, going up to the 40. Bob White carried the ball against Iowa in 7 out of 8 plays on a sensational drive to bring the Buckeyes from behind to a victory over Iowa and a trip to the Rose Bowl and the conference championship. Ron Stover, Oregon's left end, up-tripped the fullback. The ball's on the 39, a gain of 3. It is 3rd and 2. No score first period. 3rd and 2 for Ohio State. Almost an 8-man line in there. Left halfback carrying the ball, Don Clark, who just went into the game, gets across the 40 to about the 41, close to a first down. Ron Stover, the first man to hit him, and Jerry Kirshner. And then a left linebacker, Bob Peterson. And Tony Stover has asked for an official timeout for a measurement to see whether or not the Buckeyes picked up the first down. You watch as we watch. First down, Ohio State. 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes on their own 41. The sensational left halfback, Don Clark, who was injured early in the Purdue game, who was a potential All-America candidate but suffered as a result of the injuries, has come along fine and just went into the game at left half and picked up the first down for Ohio State. Frank Kremlis, the quarterback, number 22. And it's given to Clark after a fake to the fullback on the ride series. Gets up to the line of scrimmage. Jim Linden, the right tackle, slowed him up, and Jerry Kirshner, the left tackle, and Joe Schaffel, the middle guard, made the finishing stop. The forward progress of the ball carry after being tackled carried him to the 43, so it's a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for Ohio State. 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first period of the 44th Rose Bowl game. No score. A pitch to Clark, getting a block, and there he goes to midfield. He's to the 40 of Oregon. He's to the 30. Don Clark getting a beautiful block in there, finally stopped by Jim Linden and Jack Morris. The key block was thrown by Dick Shafrath, the 208-pound left tackle, number 71, a junior, carrying the ball to the 30-yard line of Oregon, a 27-yard burst. A great back. 1st and 10 for Ohio State. Canavino following, getting a block from White, and then being caught and chased. Now has to come the other way, getting another block beautifully, and still coming, getting away from 2 men, keeps his feet at the 40, gets to the 38. Stopped finally by Jerry Kirshner and Jim Linden. There were 2 beautiful blocks thrown in there, one by Bob White, the fullback, and the second block trying to spring him loose at the 45. Jack Morris was the first man that had him hemmed in. He plays the right linebacker spot for Oregon. And the tackle finally was made by Jerry Kirshner and Jim Linden. The ball's on the 38-yard line, a loss of 8. 2nd and 18 for Ohio State, and Clark flanks out to the left. Now on a draw play, White is stopped. Jim Linden, the right tackle, spotted it, and Jerry Kirshner, the left tackle, collaborated. The ball is between the 38 and 39-yard lines. Let's just call it the 38. It's right in between the two. It's 3rd, actually an 18 and a half. No gain on the draw play. The ball on the Oregon 38-and-a-half-yard line. Kremblis passing, and he's got Jim Houston to 20, to the 10, and he is across the 5 and down at about the 2-yard line. Stopped by Charlie Tourville, the right halfback. A beautiful pass pattern with Frank Kremblis rolling out, and on a 36-yard pass play, hitting his left end, Jim Houston, a sophomore, 6'2", 216, whose brother played at Ohio State and made All-America tackle a few years ago, Lindell Houston. Ohio State moving down to the 2-yard line, 1st down. No scores yet. And there is Kremblis trying to sneak. A favorite play by the Ohio State quarterback when he gets close to the goal line, trying to follow the surge of the center of his line, but the middle of that Oregon line stopped him with Jim Linden, the right tackle, a 221-pound junior standing 6'4", spearheading the defense. And so it is 2nd down and about a yard to go for Ohio State. The Buckeyes, who seldom pass but stick to the ground and grind it out, went to the air to put them in scoring position. Woody Hayes always said he had a passing attack when he needed one. And Kremblis again sneaking, and he is in there. Touchdown, Ohio State. Dick Shafrath leading him through, and Bill Jobko. That 36-yard pass play set it up for the Buckeyes, with the University of Oregon Webfoots displaying unusually good defensive strength until that pass set up the TD, with Kremblis sneaking over, with Shafrath and Jobko leading him through. And now the try for the point, Canavino holding, and Kremblis will try the point. It is good. Score, Ohio State 7, Oregon nothing. Before the Buckeyes kick off now to Oregon, let's have a quick word from Chick Hearn.
Well, it took the Buckeyes from Columbus, Ohio, just 13 plays after taking the initial kickoff to go 79 yards. The big plays, of course, the 27-yard run by Clark, the 36-yard pass from Kremblis to Houston. And ironically, Mel, that is only the third pass this year that Houston has caught. His total pass receiving yardage for the year coming into this game was only 67 yards. But that was a big one. Kremlis in for the touchdown. The PAT good, and with 7:57 left, it is 7-0 Ohio State. Mel Allen.
Frank Kremlis will boot it with Jim Shanley and Jack Morris waiting for it, and Morris takes it on the 6. He's a sprinter and goes up to the 20. Oregon likes to go up the sideline. He got across the 25 and down to about the 26 or 7-yard line by Frank Kremlis. Ohio State, by the way, Bob White also is in on the tackle. Had two fullbacks in there, Galen Cisco and Bob White on defense. No huddle now for Oregon, 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line. Jack Crabtree, the quarterback, on a sneak. Against Stanford this year, Oregon ran an entire series of plays, some 12 for a touchdown, without going even into a huddle, and they're doing it again right now, as they have this pattern. It's 2nd and 8 on the 29 of Oregon, 7-0 Ohio State. Crabtree on an outside, the belly series, giving it to the fullback, Jack Morris, but he got nowhere. With the Buckeye defense coming to the fore, helped out by Bob White, who plays the right linebacker spot, and Dick Shafrath, the left tackle. Charlie Tourville this time, the left halfback, flanks left, the right end, Ron Stover splits right, 3rd and 8 for Oregon. Crabtree's pass is completed beautifully to his right end at the 40. Ron Stover, the 197-pound junior. And it's a 1st down for Oregon. 1st and 10 on the Oregon 40-yard line. Galen Cisco, who is in the left linebacker spot, made the tackle.
Stop there by Cisco. 1st and 10.
Jack Morris, the fullback, trying to get running room and fights his way to about the 45 and falls forward to about the 46 with Dick Shafrath making the tackle. Shafrath and Marshall, left and right tackles, reverse positions on defense. Shafrath, the right tackle, Marshall to left tackle. 2nd down and 4 for Oregon. Tourville flanks left, and Crabtree on a handoff to Jim Shanley, their finest running back, on a quick hitter. Tackled by Jim Houston, sophomore left end, who came along magnificently for Ohio State this year. The ball is spotted by Tony Scover on the 48-yard line. It is 3rd and 2. First time that Oregon has used the huddle, and Tourville, the left half, flanks out to the left, but the right end this time does not split. Secondary loosens up. Crabtree on the option keeps and dives across midfield to the Ohio State 49. Jim Houston again moving in to make the tackle. It's a 1st down for Oregon. 1st and 10 for the Webfoots at midfield. Crabtree is 17. Charlie Tourville, 25, the left halfback, flanks out to the near sideline. The right end, Ron Stover, splits to the right against a 6-2-3 defense. A long count. And again, the quick hitter with Jim Shanley carrying. And there was a marker on the play as the tackle was made with back illegally in motion. Ohio State has its option. The tackle was made by Jim Houston, we're about to tell you. Ohio State declines the penalty as the ball was moved from midfield to the 48-yard line. Thus, it costs Oregon a down, and it is 2nd and 8 for Oregon on the Ohio State 48. 4 straight tackles made by Jim Houston. Once again, Charlie Tourville, number 25, flanks out to the near sideline. The right end's in tight. Morris and Shanley in behind Crabtree. 7-0 Ohio State, first period. And the right halfback, Shanley, on a slant, trying the right side of the Ohio State line, gets to about the 46-yard line with Dick Shafrath making the tackle. Number 71, you saw him get up off the ground. J.C. Wheeler, the left end for Oregon, number 80, led the offensive blocking. It's 3rd and 5 for Oregon on the Ohio State 46. Crabtree passing, and it is intercepted at the 28 by Ohio State's defensive left halfback, Joe Canavino.
Kremlis up tight on the long count, calling his signals, takes the ball and turns around on the stutter play, hands it off to his fullback, Bob White. Through the left side goes Bob. Off the left guard, between left guard and left tackle, moving up to about the 33 before he's stopped by Jerry Kirshner. in there low and hard for the University of Oregon. Under center with the tight team in the backfield. Turns, pitches back to Clark, who gets down to a blocking. Swings around the right side to put the away runners up to the 40. Hits the 40-yard line right down over the microphones and knocked down fullback on the handoff. White rips through the left side of the line from the 41-yard line up to about the 46-yard line. As Feld, it is White taking the ball on the handoff, driving over the 50 up to about the 47-yard line of Oregon on the far side of the field before he's knocked down by Kimbrough, Bowermaster. That is way outside the right end, and on the fake pitch out and hand over to White, the fullback, he's through the left side of the line again, trying to break into the curve, but he moves down to about the 46-yard line, where he's nailed hard by Altenhofen, the right end of Oregon in the backfield. The ball is taken, a fake pitch back, and a keep by Kremplis. He fades off to the left, rolls out towards the pass. Down on the far side of the field, 35-yard line to Houston, and it's Houston who is knocked down and out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. Not the 24-yard. It's Clark trying to turn the right side, get some downfield blocking, tries to step away from his interference, and on the 25-yard line is hit the right fake, pitching out, and keeps himself fades backwards, goes under on the 35. The whole host of Oregonians ball fades back, cocks his arm, looks his field over, there's a long one downfield. It's to LeBeau on the 10-yard line over his fingertips incomplete. Randy Fraser was the defender for the University of Oregon. Also, Willie West was in there. He kicks the ball. It's a high kick going into the Oregon end zone. Into the Oregon end zone with about 2 seconds left to play in the first period of the ball game. So that means a touchback, and Oregon will take over. First down at 10 yards to go on their own 20-yard line. It's handed off on the crossbuck to Willie West. Willie West coming through the right side of the line, moves over up to about his own 24-yard line, and that does it. That does it for the end of the first quarter. Up to the fake credit play and a pitch out to the right halfback. Reed going down the left sideline and finally spins his way over to the 40, moving up to the 45-yard line as Morris gives him fine downfield. The signals now for Oregon. He takes the ball, slides along on the quarterback option, turns, pitches back. Again, it is their halfback. This time it's Shenley off the left side, trying to touch that. The left-hand under center takes the ball, fades back, puts his field over, cocks his arm, throws a sharp pass downfield to the 45-yard line, Ohio State territory. It's intended for Charlie Turville, but broken up down there is a big jump pass as the quarterback himself keeps Rodgers up the middle, moves to the Ohio State 45 down to the 43-yard line. As John Clark finally comes in to make the stop. Very fine downfield blocking by Bob Peterson, the center, who led it all and kept then pitched out to the halfback Shenley, who's around the left side, turns the corner on the far side of the field, moves to the 35, is hit and goes to about the 33-yard line for another Oregon first. Ball is snapped, given to the quarterback over to Morris, and through the line over the 20, and it'll bring up to a first down down about the 21-yard line. But I believe the ball for Oregon, he sends his right halfback out wide to the right. Takes the ball, fades back, cocks his arm, throws the pass. That's completed down on the 10-yard line. Fades off the right quarterback option play. He keeps it himself, moves to the 5, and he puts him down to the 5-yard line. 15 yards outside of the line of scrimmage. Right of the line of scrimmage. Crabtree takes the ball, quarterback option. Pitches back to Shenley. He's around the left side to the goal line. He's over. And to hold the ball will be Jack Crabtree. Ready for the ball to be snapped back now by center down Peterson. The kick, it is good. It's tied. Mr. Stover's whistle. The ball is booted high. It's an end-over-end kick down to Clark on the 3-yard line. He takes it on the 3, comes up the sideline on this side of the field, picks up some downfield blocking, moves to the 20, gets away from 2 men. He's moved to the 25 on the far sideline and jumps on his own about 27-yard line by Trent. Down on the right series, hands off to his fullback. It's White driving through the right side of the line, moves over the 30 up and fights his way to the 35-yard line. Drops down on the 35-yard line. A fumble. Let's see who's recovered down there on the 35-yard line. A fumble on the handoff. Ball is taken and placed. I believe the whistle blew before the right side of the line, moves over the 30 up and fights his way to the 35-yard line. Drops down on the 35-yard line, across the way on a hard low driving tackle by Jim Lindsay. Pitch out, and the fullback is given it on the semi-draw play. It's right through the left side of the line. A pitch out, the ball kept by Douglas. He beats through the right side of the line. Taking the field goes up the Oregon 20. Hit at the 20-yard line on the far side line. Got knocked down from behind. Was finally able to catch Kremplis on to Clark on the handoff. He crosses over, tries his own right tackle. But moves to the line of scrimmage and gets just about a yard, and that's it. Where takes a pitch back, keeps himself, turns to the right, tries to sneak through the right side of the line, picks up about 2 yards, and then he's knocked down on the far sideline. And Ohio State University, the fine Rose Bowl exhibition of collegiate football here this afternoon. Tight D in the backfield, the big pitch out, rolling off to the left, stumbles, pops his arm, throws the ball. It's a block. In place, there's a pass on the center. It's a for Leo Brown, it's incomplete. Jack Crabtree and their defense from Oregon, so that means Oregon will pick up the ball at the field. It's under right end, 15 yards outside of the line of scrimmage. That's Stover. The ball is given, and on the stutter play, it's Morris. The fullback up the middle to the 15-yard line, hit at the 15 and dropped on. The ball is given to the fullback on the stutter play. It's Morris going his way over the 20 to about the 21 as Thomas and Jobco all the way this time. And on the handoff play, it is fullback Morris to the middle of the line with 25. It is 25 by Jim Marshall. Leo Brown in there, I should say. He drops left, takes the pitch back, and out, moves to his own 31 and knocked out of bounds by Dan Funk, backing up the Ohio State line. But what's the left on the big pitch shot? It is the halfback Shanley trying to cross over, taking the handoff from his quarterback, moves over to about the 33-yard line, hit and goes on the draw play. It's fullback Morris handling, moving up to the line of scrimmage. His left flag goes down on the field and pulls his way to his own 37. Sideline across the way. Tight T in the backfield. Crabtree turns and pitches back to Willie West, who tries to throw a pass, and it is knocked down and then grabbed in the air by Keeley, who holds onto the ball and moves up to a play, and it's quarterback Crabtree keeping him being knocked down behind the line of scrimmage as the red flag goes down on the field. And Funk was in there to make the stop. Line of scrimmage, a pitch back to West, who rolls right around to the right, throws pass down to the 50-yard line. Right end Stover. His sure hands have it on the Ohio State 45. He's touched down McCandino. First and 10 in the Ohio State 45. A draw play. And the Morris up the middle for the Ohio State 30. That's boy really killing. No draw play. It's Morris trying the center of the line, and he gets nowhere. Right into the center of the line. Down below our microphone. Crabtree calls his signals out, takes the ball, fumbles it as he attempts to pitch out, and there's a free ball down there. Ohio State recovers it. Tight T in the backfield, Kemp was calling signals for Ohio State, takes the ball, and on the stutter play, and drops to fullback right, rips up the middle of the 50-yard line, goes over into the time from the team, and it's Clark carrying the ball around the right side, turns the corner, moves down to about the 52-yard line, where he's knocked out of bounds. Frank Cumby is making the downfield block for him, along with there's a fake handoff, and keeping it Douglas, he shoots off to the left and cuts back over his own left tackle. Stutter play handoff, and it's Douglas keeping the ball being bottled up for the moment. Back on the 30-yard line, still running. He's come to the sideline, and he's pushed down by Morris. A man goes in motion. That's Clark. He blocks a man as Douglas fades back and throws it past the White, or intended to White on the 20. And the big fellow is there to take the ball. Fades back. It's being charged. Knocked down. Back on the Oregon 44. Number 74 was in there. That's Huckbucker. Caution play is being exercised now. The pitch out. Shanley, he's around the left side of the line. Moves to the 50. Hit it to 50. Goes to the 49 Ohio State territory. As things are moving fast here. Things are moving. And the pitch back, however, comes to fullback Morris. He shoots his way up the middle of the 40 and fights at 2 men and goes to the 38. Jack Morris on the pitch out the cutback play. Moves to the 14th first down for Oregon on the Ohio State 38-yard line. And that is it as far as the...
Getting ready for the second half at the Rose Bowl in sunny Pasadena. The score, Ohio State 7, Oregon 7. The amazing Webfoots from Eugene, Oregon, who were an underdog in this game, fought Ohio State to a standstill. The Buckeyes, one of the truly great teams of the nation, voted by many as the #1 team in the country. Probably have received some adjustments from Woody Hayes in the dressing room at halftime. Woody Hayes was voted the coach of the year. Len Casanova, the coach of the Webfoots, always known for coming up with a surprise and concocting some confounding defenses, has done a tremendous job with his Webfoots. In fact, the coaching staffs of both teams. Casanova's coaches, Jack Roach, Johnny McKay, Bill Hammer, Jerry Fry, Phil McHugh, and Reynolds Cochran have done a great job. And Woody Hayes' staff of Lyle Clark, Ernie Godfrey, Harry Strobel, Esco Sarkin, and Gene Feckety, Bill Hess, and Cleve Rush. Ohio State in its huddle will kick off to Oregon. Frank Krembles will boot it. It'll be Houston, Canavino, Cisco, Jobco, Shafrath. Krembles, Marshall, Thomas White, and Brown along the line. In the deep receiving positions, number 30, Jim Shanley, number 40, Jack Morris. Morris to the near side. Joe Schaffel is in there, along with Kirshner, Peterson, Grotkow, and Linden. We are double-checking to see whether, no, Mundell is still out, Wheeler and Stover. And we're ready to go. The kick is short, bouncing down to the 8, taken by fullback Jack Morris, to the 15, to the 20, getting up to the 25-yard line where he's finally brought down. And it is Oregon's ball, 1st and 10, as Tony Scober places on the 25-yard line. The tackle made by Bill Jobco and Jim Houston. Jack Crabtree at quarterback, number 17, Charlie Tourville at left half, 25, Jack Morris, number 40 at full, and number 30, Jim Shanley at right half. Tourville flanks to the left. Crabtree on the option keeps, and he is downed on the 21-yard line on a fine defensive play by Bob White, one of the finest sophomores we've seen in many a moon. He plays the right linebacker spot. The ball's on the 21, a loss of 4, making it 2nd and 14. 7-7 the score. Jim Shanley flanks out to the right.
Crabtree takes the ball, fades back, he's being bottled, runs off to the right on the 10-yard line, throws the pass downfield, completed. On the 30-yard line, it is Stover, the sure group. Pass ball to Stover, who nails it on the 43. Joe Canavino making the stop, but that's Stover with both clubs. The handoff to the fullback. It's Jack Morris trying to center the line, but Harry Thomas meets the ball, fades off to the right, rolls out, fakes throwing a pass, keeps, and finally does throw the ball, and it is intercepted by right halfback Joe Canavino on the 48-yard line. It was intended for Stover, who finally had to make the tackle. White on the give-off. Bucks his way up to the 45-yard line. So they're back to the huddle line, come to the line of scrimmage on 2nd down and 7. Ready to move now with the tight team in the backfield. The ball is taken by Krembles, spins and gives off Clark, who touches to the left side of the line on a quick opening play and down to the 40-yard line. Number 71 in there to go out on the split. The ball is given to White. Saves into the middle of the line, and I believe he may have made it. The referee's in there right now. Silver has grabbed that ball, and I believe Oregon has held. Bob Gutso was in there. The right end is 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, hugging the sideline across the way. Crabtree takes the ball on the draw, hands it to Morris, and he's into the left side of the line, stopped by Chick Shafrath. Ball fading back, and throws a pass that is knocked down. Whistle blows. One of the Oregon boys picked the ball up, figuring fumble on the tee. Crabtree takes the ball, fades back, makes no bones about it. He cocks his arm, throws a long pass downfield, completed. The 25 is Cormill down on the 45-yard line. The ball is snapped. He fades off to the right, quarterback off, and he keeps, he moves to the 40. Is in at the 40 and drops on the far sideline by Canavino. Coming 6-man defense. The ball is taken, faked on the handoff. Crabtree fades. He's cut back to the line of scrimmage on the 49. Knocks down back there. He takes the ball, fakes the handoff, fades back, cocks his arm, looks, then throws downfield again. He's standing about 15 yards outside on the flank of the line of scrimmage. The ball is taken by Crabtree. A pitch out for Morris. He's around the right side of the 30. To the 20-yard line. Still on his feet is Crabtree, and he's still. Oregon's ball on the Ohio State 20. 7-7 the score. Crabtree on the long count takes the ball, quarterback option, he keeps, slides off the right tackle, moves up for 2, and is dropped hard by Jim Marshall. The ball fades, looks his field over, throws to the flat on the slide. It is Corville jumping high to grab Krembles. Crabtree takes the ball, rolls back, throws one downfield. It's almost complete, but that's right. See who knocked that one down. There we go. Ready for the ball to be snapped back. It'll be an angle from the 24-yard line. There is the boot. Ready ready for the first play. As he comes up tight under center, takes the ball, fakes the pitch up, and then hands off to White, who is stopped after picking up 2 at left guard, or 4 of them, 8 yards to go. Columbus takes the ball and pitches back to Clark, the halfback. He's right around the left side of the 20, hit by Greenman, and finally drives his way to the pitch out, and a hand over to White, fullback. Bob is into the center of the line, moves up to the 34-yard line as Dan James goes way out wide to the left, 15 yards on the far side. There's a fake pitch out again. It's White again on the roll. Into the center he goes. The fullback goes to the front over to the fullback, White, who is trying to pull his way through the right side. He gets up to the full pitch out to him, and White again. This time over the 50 he goes, driving off right tackle to the Oregon. Breaks off and again gives to White. There he goes again, right through the middle of the line, driving down to the 37-yard line. And it's a give off to Clark, who sneaks off the right side and cuts back over and drives in off left guard on a quick. It's a fake this time to the fullback. It's Keith by quarterback Kremlis, and he's snowed under. Back to the line of scrimmage, you lose about a yard on this play, see. And Kremlis hands off again to White, who pulls his way through the center. And when he hits that line, it's just like opening the floodgates. It's tight in the backfield. The ball is taken by Kremlis, pitch back to Clark. He swings to the right side, hugs the sideline, hit at the 21-yard line, and knocks out of bounds on the 21-yard line. See, that's the end. Take pitch out. White is the receiver. He takes the ball and bucks through the left side of the line, gets up to about the 18-yard line before he's hit and dropped. Sends a man in the motion to the right, gives to White, who stumbles his way into the line as he tries to hit and falls. He might have picked up a half a yard, and that was about it. He saw a snap, play, steals the boot. It is boot. Ohio State, by Southern field goal, leads it 10-7, and goes over the goal line. Marching into the end zone, and a bunch of kids down there scrambling for the ball. Here on the Oregon 20. First and 10 for the Ducks. Crabtree on the long toss, takes the ball, fires over the line of scrimmage to his own 30, and takes a pitch over to the left and turns and tries to throw a pass, but he's snowed under and may have dropped the ball. However, I believe the whistle has been blown. We'll see in just a moment. It's the pitch back to Willie West. He runs wide around the right side, throws the pass downfield. It's completed on his own 40 to his right end, Stover. Stover down to his own 44 and dropped there by Joe Canavino to the far side. The quarterback option play by Crabtree. The ball is given to Morris. He has nowhere to go as he comes to the sideline on the 45 and is bumped out of bounds. Operating against the 6-man line. Crabtree fading back. Throws a pass to Stover. To the Ohio State 45. He's hit knocked out of bounds as he grabs by Joe Canavino. Again. The ball, he himself bucks into the line, and he'll make the first down. That's for sure. Down to the 54-yard line. And that'll give...
The defensive right end turned him in. That was Leo Brown. Into the arms of Bertho Arnold, the right tackle. And the ball's on the 47-yard line, a loss of 3. Second and 13 for Oregon. A fine defensive play by Leo Brown. Again, that open setup with Kimbrough, the left end, split out. And the quick pass is completed to Stover, and he's to the 30, and to the 25, and fumbles, and Ohio State recovers. Joe Canavino recovered Ron Stover's fumble as the web foot sensationally struck through the air once again to Ron Stover, who was on the drive. But he was hit hard, and the ball shaken loose. And the Buckeyes recover on their own 24-yard line with 10 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the ballgame. A great offensive play and a great defensive play combined in one. A tough break for the Webfoots, a great break for the Buckeyes, who lead 10-7. Don Laudenschlager in now for Oregon at right half in place of Shanley. Boy, that Stover is great. Ohio State's ball first and 10 on its own 24. Leo Brown split out to the near sideline. And Kremblis gives to his fullback, Galen Cisco, fighting his way for yardage to the 30. Galen Cisco in at fullback, number 36, in place of Bob White. Don Clark is in at left half, number 18, and Joe Canavino, 16, at right half. Frank Kremblis, 22, at quarter. Jerry Kirshner and Don Laudenschlager made the tackle. Ball's on the 30, a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 for the Buckeyes. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Leo Brown splits way out to the right. And on the slant, Don Clark, the left halfback, is bottled up after he went a couple of yards with Bob Peterson, the left linebacker, and Jim Linden, the right tackle, making the stop. The ball's on the 32. It is 3rd and 2 for Ohio State in a great Rose Bowl game. A tremendous struggle between the Webfoots of Oregon and the Buckeyes of Ohio State. 9 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. Ohio State leading 10-7. Leo Brown splits way out to the right. Kremblis on a keep. Got plenty of daylight and goes to the 40, is tackled. The referee goes down as well, and Kremblis, after being tackled, falls forward to about the 41 or 2. With Willie West, the defensive right halfback, making the tackle. The ball is spotted on about the 41. It is a first down for Ohio State. Frank Kremblis rolling out to his right. Most of the time this year, he has rolled out to his left, and that's what Oregon has been looking for, and Kremblis fooled him on that play. Against a 4-5 defense, fullback Galen Cisco banging his way up the middle across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Alden Kimbrough, the right end, and Greg Altenhoff in the left end, both, Ron Stover, the left end, came in to stop him. Ball's on the 45, 2nd and 6 for Ohio State. With 8 minutes and a half remaining in the game, and the Buckeyes in possession, leading 10-7. Again, the fullback, Galen Cisco, spinning and driving across midfield into Oregon territory to the 48-yard line with Joe Schaffel, the middle guard, stopping him, and it's a first down for Ohio State on the Oregon 48-yard line. Dan Frank and Bill Jobko opening that hole for him. 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes on the Oregon 48. 7 minutes and 55 seconds left in the game. And Ohio State asks for a timeout. Now there's a timeout for Ohio State. The score, the Ohio State Buckeyes 10, Oregon 7.
I dedicate this pool to you. My love you have you pool.
Until you get a decent shave, I'd rather keep the bull.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Now there's a race on Gillette Super Speed with the blade edge and the weight you need. Light, regular, heavy, hooray! Only way to get a decent shave.
Olé, senors, it's a wise hombre who gets a Gillette Super Speed razor matched to his skin and beard. Light for lighter beards, regular for average skin and beard, heavy for dense, hard-to-shave beards. One has the right blade edge exposure angle and weight for the most comfortable shaves you ever had. Change blades, rinse, clean, so. Get your Gillette Super Speed razor, $1, complete with Gillette Blue Blade dispenser and travel case.
The Ohio State band just finishing up. J.C. Wheeler in at left end for Oregon in place of Alden Kimbrough. Darrell Ashbacker at left tackle in place of Jerry Kirshner. Bob Hurd in at left guard. Dave Fish is in at center now for Oregon. With Grotkow, Linden, and Stover completing the line. Crabtree, West, Morris, and Laudenschlager in the secondary. Ohio State's ball 1st and 10 on the Oregon 48. 10-7. Favor the Buckeyes. 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the game. Fullback Galen Cisco driving up the middle. The Buckeyes have used their fullbacks, both Bob White and Galen Cisco, to dent the middle of the Oregon line. Dave Fish was the first man to hit the ball carrier, helped out by others. The ball's advanced to the 43-yard line, a gain of 5, 2nd and 5 for Ohio State. Sticking now to its split T attack, in which they just churn up the ground and eat up the yardage. Again, Galen Cisco, the senior fullback, a 203-pounder. Going through the hole opened up by Dan Frank and Aurelius Thomas. The ball is moved to the 39-yard line of Oregon, stopped by Dave Fish and Darrell Ashbacker. Also, Bob Hurd in on the tackle. Galen Cisco from St. Mary's, Ohio, moves the ball to the 39-yard line. 3rd and 1 for Ohio State. The Buckeyes leading 10-7 with 6 minutes and 55 seconds left in the game. Once again, Galen Cisco, the fullback, banging up the middle as the Buckeyes seek to pick up the first down, succeed in doing so as they move the ball to the 37-yard line approximately of the Oregon Webfoots. Bob Hurd playing a fine game at guard. The middle guard made the tackle to help with Bob Grotkow, the middle linebacker, and Dave Fish, the left linebacker. Darrell Ashbacker in on the play. The ball's on the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 for Ohio State on the Oregon 38. Leo Brown splits out to the right. He's the right end. Joe Canavino, or rather Galen Cisco, after a fake pitch out to Canavino, carried the ball and moved it to about the 35-yard line. Bob Hurd made the stop, and Ron Stover the left end. The ball is spotted down. The knee touched the ground at the 37-yard line. Almost the 36. Let's call it the 36. Makes it 2nd and 8 for Ohio State. Will Reeve replaces Bob Grotkow at right guard. Grotkow has played tremendously for Oregon. Tom Keelan at right tackle for Jim Linden. The junior right tackle has played tremendously for the Webfoots. In fact, all these kids have just done themselves proud today in this 44th Rose Bowl. Greg Altenhofen in at right end for Oregon. It's 2nd and 8. Don Clark is piled up at about the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play.
Dave Fish and Darrell Ashbacker making the stop along with Will Reeves. It is 3rd and 8, no gain on the play. 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game. Ohio State leading 10-7. Leo Brown comes out as a left end. That means they're in an unbalanced line. Strong to the left. Against about a 6-1 defense, and we hear a whistle, and let's watch and see what happened as Krembles carrying the ball. The Buckeyes are guilty of delay of the game, taking too much time to get the playoff, suffer a 5-yard penalty. The down remains the same. It's 3rd and 13. On the 41-yard line of the Webfoots. Jim Shanley's in for Don Laudenschlager at right half now for Oregon. 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the game. Ohio State leading 10-7. 3rd and 13. Frank Krembles keeping. And he is piled up at the line of scrimmage. And so the Buckeyes will have to get rid of that ball by punt formation. Greg Altenhofen and Darrell Ashbacker stopping Frank Krembles as he sought to sneak for the yardage. And now in punt formation is Frank Krembles. This is the second time Ohio State has had to punt today. West and Shanley in the double safety for Oregon. And the kick is angled for the sideline and goes out of bounds. We'll find the spot that they mark it at approximately the 17-yard line of Oregon. Beautiful kick. And now going in is Bob White for Ohio State. With 4 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the game, Ohio State leading 10-7. Bob White replaces Dan Frank. Bob White playing the right linebacker spot, and the other fullback, Galen Cisco, the left linebacker spot. The first unit back in for Oregon, Jack Crabtree at quarter, Charlie Torval at left half, Jack Morris at full, Jim Shanley at right half, and along the line, Wheeler, Ashbacker, Shaffeldt, Peterson, Drutkow, Linden, and Altenhofer. Let's put Kirshner in at left tackle. And keep Alden Kimbrough in at left end in place of J.C. Wheeler. And so with 4 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the game, with Ohio State leading 10-7. Oregon has the ball first and 10 on its 17. Ron Stover's in at right end. And on a reverse, Turble's trying to find running room, and he runs hard to the 25, to the 26-yard line. Crabtree gave to Shanley, who handed it to Turble on a reverse off T formation with Bill Jobco, the middle linebacker, making the stop for the Buckeyes. A 9-yard pickup, making it 2nd and 1 for Oregon as time begins to run out. 4 minutes left. Turble, left halfback, flanks left, and Ron Stover, the right end, spits to the near sideline. The secondary is loose. Jack Morris, the fullback, on the handoff, fighting his way, trying for the first down, picks it up, and it is 1st and 10 for Oregon on the Oregon 28-yard line. That's Joe Shaffeldt and Bob Drutkow leading the way, opening up the hole. It was Jim Marshall and Aurelius Thomas who made the tackle. 1st and 10 for Oregon on their own 28. Charlie Turble, the left halfback, flanks out to the left. Secondary is loose. Crabtree on the option, decides to keep and goes to the 35 before he is jarred and driven back. He got just a little bit short of the 35. Charlie Turble throwing a fine block in there as he led the play. Frank Kremlis made the tackle. The ball's on the 34, and 3 minutes remain in the game. It is 2nd down and 4 for Oregon. 10-7 Ohio State. Now 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And again on that reverse, Turble's going to throw. He does, and it is completed at midfield to Ron Stover. Joe Canavino made the tackle. Ron Stover, who has been simply spectacular today in past receptions, catches his 9th pass of the game for a total of 119 yards, moving the ball to the 49-yard line of Oregon. The clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the game. Ohio State leading 10-7. And this crowd of 100,000 leaps to its collective feet on that beautiful pass reception. And the Oregon rooting section across the way hollering, go, 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 and Jack Crabtree signaling to him to be quiet so they can hear the signals. And Leroy Phelps is now in at left halfback, number 22. And Crabtree is trying to quieten the crowd. And that's Phelps, flanked to the left, and Stover split to the right as Crabtree tries to find somebody. And he throws, but it is incomplete, and an interference call at the 47-yard line. Alden Kimbrough, the intended receiver. Leo Brown, defending against it, is called for pass interference, and Oregon is in possession on the Buckeye 47 with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left in the game, and with Ohio State leading 10-7 in one of the most exciting Rose Bowl games in many a moon. And with time running out, Oregon quickly moving, and Stover splits to the right, and the secondary for Ohio State is mighty loose as they look for that pass. And here's a screen pass, and it is grabbed at midfield by Shanley, but he can't get very far, and there's a marker thrown, a clip, I believe, against Oregon on Ron Stover, who tried to clear out Joe Canavino at the 48-yard line. Stover is getting up slowly. A clipping penalty as Ron Stover sought to block out Joe Canavino. A marker was thrown and a clipping penalty called, though the progress of the ball only went up to about the 48. The clipping penalty moves Oregon back 15 yards. The clock shows 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the game. John Wilner's in at left tackle for Oregon in place of Jerry Kirshner. And the ball is now on the 33-yard line, between the 33 and 34-yard lines of Oregon. First down, and 29 to go for the first down. 67 for the clincher. But the Buckeyes, who have fought valiantly today, are leading 10-7 and are seeking to hold the ground. At this point, Oregon asks for a timeout. Now there's a timeout for the University of Oregon. The score, Ohio State 10, Oregon 7.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp and listen, mister. How are you fixed for blades? Do you have plenty? How are you fixed for blades? You better check. Please make sure you have enough, cause a worn out blade makes shaving mighty tough. How are you fixed for blades? Better look. Gillette Blue Blades, I mean.
Oregon this afternoon has completed 15 out of 21 passes. The Rose Bowl record, Navy against Washington in 1924, completed 16. Chick, while this time is still out, this has been one of the most sensationally and spectacularly and hard-fought Rose Bowl games that I've ever seen.
I imagine that millions of football fans, Mel, throughout America and everywhere that this telecast and radio broadcast by Gillette is going, are completely startled at the great football play today of Len Casanova's underdog Oregon Ducks. They have battled these Ohio State Buckeyes right down to the wire. In fact, the University of Oregon leads in first down 21-19, but they trail on the scoreboard to this powerful Ohio State 11, 10-7. And as Mel said, one more completed pass now by Oregon will tie a 34-year-old Rose Bowl record. Crabtree has completed 12 out of 18 today. West is 3 for 3 for Oregon, so they've got 15 out of 21, so that's something else to add to the excitement in the final 2-13. Mel Allen.
I want to take just this moment to thank Marv Holman of Ohio State, Assistant Athletic Publicity Director, for spotting Ohio State, and our ever-present observer, Larry Allen, who has been spotting Oregon. Chuck Osborne in at fullback for Oregon, 1st and 29. Crabtree's passed to Stover again, and he's trying to go, and he gets past midfield to the Buckeye 48. And that is the 16th completion, and Oregon ties the Rose Bowl record for most completions. Frank Kremlis made the tackle, and Stover has just been great. It is second down coming up, and 11, a minute and 48 seconds left, 10-7 Ohio State. And Crabtree decides to run. He gets to about the 42. The Buckeye secondary all went back. Dick Shafrath made the tackle. Joe Schaffeld led the offensive block in there. It is third down coming up with 5 to go for a first down, a minute and 20 seconds to go, 10-7 Ohio State, and the Webfoots are trying valiantly against the Buckeyes. And a great play by Aurelius Thomas, or rather Jim Houston, the left end, number 84, drops Crabtree at midfield, and down the far sideline was Alden Kimbrough all alone. And there are 58 seconds left in the game, and 57, and the seconds tick off. The ball is on the Ohio State 49-yard line. The Buckeyes leading 10-7. It is 4th down and 12, and this is probably it for Oregon. Let's watch. Everybody is standing up now, and Crabtree throws, and it is incomplete at the 35. Ron Stover, the intended receiver, it was almost intercepted by Joe Canavino. The clock is stopped with 39 seconds left. A great try by the Webfoots. The ball goes over to Ohio State. But I would like to take just this second to congratulate Len Casanova and his staff for turning out a beautifully coached team, and as well Woody Hayes and his staff for a great job with the Buckeyes from Columbus, Ohio. Stu White in at right tackle for Oregon. With 39 seconds left, you should have seen 100,000 people on their feet on that last play of Oregon's, which could have been it one way or the other. And so the Buckeyes now, with just 39 seconds left, leading 10-7, find Frank Kremlis just falling down to run out the clock. It has been a great game. And 27 seconds and 26, and we go along. And the Ohio State Rooters are counting off the seconds. 16 and 15 and 14 and 13. And Ohio State leading 10-7. And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. As Kremlis just piles it up, and the clock is stopped on the field by Tony Scober with 4 seconds remaining in the game. And already some eager Beavers are attempting to tear down the goalpost. A delay of the game, taking too much time to run the play, results in a 5-yard penalty against the Buckeyes. 4 seconds left in this game, and Ohio State leading 10-7. And the substitutions coming in rapidly as Len Casanova seeks to get some men into the game so that they can say that they were in the Rose Bowl game. Marlon Holland just came in for one. And so here may be the last play of the game, and Kremlis, sneaking, just goes down on the ground. And 1 second, and the game is over. Ohio State wins it 10-7. John Robinson got in the game. Want to give him credit for Oregon. And so the 44th Rose Bowl game is just about over. Not quite till they get the goalpost torn down, which is always traditional. And Len Casanova, the coach of Oregon, is being carried off the field for a great coaching job, which he did. Even though the Webfoots lost it, as he's being carried off the field, and Woody Hayes and his Buckeyes of Ohio State, who lost only one game last season, that was the opener, and came along magnificently to be rated by one group as the #1 team in the country, and it was a tremendous ball game, which we thoroughly hope you enjoy. And the final score, Ohio State 10, the University of Oregon 7. In a moment, we'll review the highlights of the game for you.
New, completely new, completely even waving Tony. Even waving Tony. A new way to wave.
New Way Tony. First with even waving lotion. First with a double easy applicator. Easy, even waving with the wide sponge top. No combing, no dripping. Easy, even neutralizing, too. 8 spray tips neutralize inside the curl. You can't underwave or overwave. And because you wave so evenly without mess or miss, you get even waves that never straggle. Even waves that never frizz. Beautiful even waves like this. Try this wonderful new way to wave. Get New Way Tony with the double easy applicator. New even waving Tony.
We've already thanked the 2 coaches and their coaching staffs for their wonderful help. And our congratulations as well to President Novice Fawcett of Ohio State and Dr. Meredith Wilson of the University of Oregon, 2 wonderful presidents, and to the athletic directors, Leo Harris of Oregon and Dick Larkins of Ohio State, to Bill Snip, athletic publicity director of Ohio State, and his counterpart at Oregon, Art Litchman, and to the 2 trainers, Ernest Biggs of Ohio State and Bob Officer of Oregon. We've already thanked our spotters, Marv Holman and Larry Allen. We do hope you enjoyed this game. This is one of the most thrilling we ever saw, as these 2 teams really fought it out, a hard-nosed battle. And now over to Chick Hearn.
Mel, it was wonderful working with you. Thank you very much for a great job. Well, let's review the scoring for you in the first quarter with 7 minutes and 57 seconds left in the first period. Ohio State scored. They went 79 yards in 13 plays. It was a 22-yard run by Clark, a 36-yard pass, Kremlis to the end, Houston to the 2-yard line that set it up for Kremlis' sneak and the TD. Kremlis' point after made it 7-0. Then in the second quarter, it was Oregon going 80 yards in 10 plays with Shanley scoring from the 5-yard line. Jack Morris's point after tied it up at 7-7. Crabtree masterminding the attack brilliantly for Oregon. Ohio State's Frankie Kremlis doing the same for the Buckeyes. The third quarter was scoreless, and what a football game we had. In the fourth quarter, with just 58 seconds gone, after a 59-yard drive downfield, bogged down on 4th down, it was Don Sutherland coming in to kick. And Don arched beautifully a field goal from the hash mark, 18 yards in from the far the eastern sideline, right through the goal post. It carried in all 34 yards. Mel, you got something?
Just one word, Chick. I had the pleasure of meeting the squads of both teams, Ohio State and Oregon, and I never saw any greater bunch of kids on any football teams anywhere. Typical of kids on football teams in college throughout the country. Clean cut, great kids and fellows who really tend to their knitting when it comes to the books as well. It was a pleasure to have been associated with them, and you too, Chick.
Thank you, Mel Allen. I think that Joe Canavino's 2 interceptions and important recovery of a fumble played a big part in Ohio State's victory. Oregon won the first down department 21-19, but they lost the ball game 10-7. Crabtree, he completed 13 out of 20 passes for 151 yards. Kremlis did not pass in the second half after throwing 6 times in the first half for 2 completions. The best ground gainer today for Oregon was Shanley. He averaged 5 yards and 12 carries. Morris had almost a 12-yard average and 5 carries. For the Ohio State Buckeyes, 93 yards and 25 carries for the fullback, White. This has been an NBC Sports Department presentation. Tom S. Gallery, Director of Sports. Our mobile unit and crew today were from NBC Hollywood. Producer was William Caden. Director was William Bennington. Technical director was Jerry Ireland. Associate director was Roy Montgomery. Unit manager was Bob Anderson, and technical supervisor Ralph Clement. This has been an NBC television production. Well, fans, that wraps up the first major sports event for 1958 on Gillette's continuous cavalcade of sports. Our next telecast will come to you Friday night from Madison Square Garden over most of these same NBC stations, and in Canada over the CBC television network. Plan to be with us at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and enjoy the excitement. Until then, this is Chick Hearn with Mel Allen saying smooth sailing, smooth shaving, and so long for the Gillette Safety Razor Company.